Not even CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins could save the SmackDown. Stop making these shows 3 hours long. It wasn't even an offensively bad episode. But SmackDown is like white bread. Everyone enjoys it, but it's as basic as it gets. Segments like these feel rushed, even though it's a 3-hour show. SmackDown doesn't make you feel like it's WrestleMania season. Obviously, most of it has to do with boring writing, but it being 3 hours long definitely doesn't help. I think the majority of people who want WWE shows to be 3 hours long are people who started watching in like 2017 or even 2020. It's the idea that wrestlers will get more TV time. What you end up seeing though is SmackDown using people from Monday Night Raw. And since you have to fill in time, instead of seeing different people each week and mixing it up, you end up watching the same show every week. That's what it feels like. The only thing that would have made this show somewhat exciting is CM Punk revealing the favor. And we didn't even actually get that, and I gotta assume that the WrestleMania match itself is not the favor because, I mean, everybody wants that match. Everybody was pointing at that WrestleMania sign. It's not a terrible wrestling show by any means, but just like I've said, it's very bland, very basic, and certainly doesn't make you feel like WrestleMania is about to happen. Although while looking at this rivalry, it certainly does feel like it should be a world championship, doesn't it? Like, it's so much more exciting than Gunther versus Jey Uso, and it looks like the main event of WrestleMania. It just doesn't have anything on the line. Hopefully that's gonna change. Hopefully WWE will add some kind of a prize to the winner. I'm not sure what that could possibly be, but this not being a championship match to me personally just feels like a bit of a missed opportunity. Let's talk about SmackDown. But I want to start by talking about the sponsor of today's video, Wrestling GM, the best wrestling simulation game out there, where you can fantasy book any real-life situation or match within the game. For example, we all love Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk, so in Wrestling GM you can actually recreate that. Or you can pick a star and make sure he becomes the next Stone Cold Steve Austin of your universe. You see, in Wrestling GM you can create your own universe. You can create your own company, wrestlers, championships, and even in-depth characters like managers and commentators. One of the best things about Wrestling GM is that you can upload custom photos and avatars to recreate real-life superstars. And you can even give them custom backstories. So pretty much you can have real wrestlers in Wrestling GM. And as you guys know, being a GM is all about competition. So in Wrestling GM you compete against AI companies in a viewership war to see who puts on the best show for the fans. People, Wrestling GM is available on the App Store and the Google Play Store, so make sure to download the game right now by using the link in the description below. Welcome everybody to a brand new episode of Greatness of SmackDown. Not a lot of greatness. Again, like I told you, okay show. But at this point, it's WrestleMania season. Okay shows should not be the norm. Crowd sings along to Orton's theme song as he makes his way to the ring. Kevin Owens interrupts Orton before he can speak, obviously received a lot of boos. Kevin admits his actions were wrong, but justifies them by saying Cody and Sami deserved it, but not Randy Orton. Owens offers an alliance, suggesting they challenge for the tag titles at WrestleMania. Orton doesn't even think about it. He rejects the apology, he rejects the idea, he says he'd rather face him at WrestleMania and punt his head. Pretty cool segment, but I wish it was a little longer. You know what, I wish it was just a little bit longer, because this is one of the most exciting storylines on SmackDown. Like I've said, I still do hope that WWE will add a stipulation to this match, whatever it may be. Extreme Rules match, no holds barred, which is the exact same thing, you know what I mean? The WrestleMania card is 50-50, and the way we could fix that is actually make these matches a bit more exciting by adding stipulations. Then we jump into Damian Priest and Jimmy Uso versus Drew McIntyre and Shinsuke Nakamura, which again really screams lazy booking, and I've heard WWE are hiring writers, so hopefully that's about to change. Damian Priest and Jimmy Uso won this match, but Drew McIntyre came back with a claymore to Damian Priest, and I gotta give some props to Damian Priest. He's very good at facial expressions. You can tell this man is hurt. Every time Drew McIntyre beats the crap out of Damian Priest, he sells it really well. And that is definitely the highlight of this rivalry to me so far. Very few things could get me really truly excited about Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. The fact that Drew McIntyre is in these kind of matches after having the strongest year of his career, in my opinion, is kinda sad. But at least they're doing a great job with what they're given. Okay, we saw the Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton conversation via satellite. Charlotte mocks Tiffany's path to the title, addresses the comparisons, claiming she's still the top name in the division, and everybody compares themselves to Charlotte Flair. Tiffany fires back, calling Charlotte her biggest supporter. Tiffany accuses Charlotte of trying to sabotage rising stars, and vows to take Charlotte's throne at WrestleMania. So these are the things that were said, but the attitude was very different. It seems like Charlotte definitely won this segment. If this was WWE 2K and you could win promos, like Charlotte kinda owned Tiffany in this one, and Charlotte is really good at being a heel. Like, you actually can't stand her watching on WWE television. And it's not just go away heat, like she's definitely good. This rivalry though, I get this Vince McMahon forced storyline feeling. We used to get a lot of these, especially with, I believe, Roman Reigns and Charlotte Flair. This feels like that. Like, it's not bad, but it's not exciting either. You're okay with it being on the show, you're fine with it, but you just can't wait for it to be done and over with. That's the feeling I get. We got Strowman versus Jacob Fatu. A lot of meat right here. We've seen this match already. Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa interfere, leading to a disqualification win for Strowman. Fatu seems frustrated about losing a potential title shot, but joins in on the beatdown. LA Knight makes the save, helping Strowman clear the ring. So, first of all, Braun Strowman versus LA Knight next week, I believe, for the WWE United States Championship. Very exciting. Very exciting, and you can inject that into my veins, you can inject that up my ass, man. Yes! That's what I want from my WWE television. Also, frustrations between Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa are rising, because that's the thing, man. He was supposed to get that championship opportunity, but since Braun Strowman won, Jacob ain't getting shit. He ain't getting poo-poo. Backstage, Jacob Fatu is furious, throwing objects in frustration. Fatu tells Solo Sikoa that his business is his own. So definitely WWE are building Solo versus Jacob Fatu at WrestleMania, which I really don't mind. Is it a bit early? Possibly. Possibly, because even though I'm excited about the storyline, I can't see what could you possibly do as these guys separately right now. On the other hand, maybe we do need a bloodline break, like nothing to do with the bloodline. Like 2025, at least for 6 months, let's forget about the bloodline. We saw Piper versus Zelina Vega. The theme song is horrendous, people. I thought she's coming out to SmackDown's music, aka the worst WWE show theme song of all time, where instead of talking about fighting and the crowd being electric and how this is gonna slap, they're singing about money. Asses, I guess. But I did learn how to count to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. To 8. That's it. I can count to 8. It's so cringe, man. WWE went like, oh, young people like rap music. Everybody's coming out with the same theme song now. Nice. Anyway, the crowd was kinda dead. As dead as you could get with that kind of crowd, I mean. Like, it still was better than majority of US crowds. Chelsea, even though she was not in the match, she was the most over superstar right here. Like, people throughout the match chanted for her. Other than that, they didn't really give a shit. Piper Niven wins. Chelsea is over everywhere. That's what this match showed me. We saw Liv Morgan versus Jade. Again, WWE using Raw Superstars instead of making this show 2 hours long. So, Naomi hits Jade with the title, Liv Morgan takes the W, and I gotta say, Naomi looks like a believable heel. I was wondering how she's going to look like a heel. Now, we don't know the entrance song, fingers crossed for another SmackDown remix, but I dig the look. She looks like a believable heel, and I can already tell where this is going. Seems like this is going to be a huge year for Naomi. With the WrestleMania match result being still very obvious, I don't feel like Jade is losing this one, right? Backstage, McIntyre vows to finish things with Damian Priest. He calls him as tough as he is stupid. Drew McIntyre walks away and he locks eyes with Seth Rollins. Some kind of tease, I guess. Kinda made me think maybe Drew McIntyre should be in that Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns storyline instead. You know, lots of history with everybody, basically. Drew McIntyre feuded with every one of these guys, and he would fit in like a glove. I'm not sure what WWE are doing with the Street Profits. Obviously, they're very beloved by the crowd. They got You Deserve a Chance, but aren't they supposed to be heels? Because throughout the match promos, they acted like baby faces. It's like the same story is happening again. They turn heel, the crowd love them, they turn back babyface, and then everybody's like, well, they should be heels. Legado del Fantasma interrupts, they want a title shot, Pretty Deadly enters too, reminding everyone they're #1 contenders. The Street Profits accept a fight with Legado del Fantasma, and we got the match, which was pretty good, and the crowd absolutely ate this one up. So, Frog Splash for the win, and again, they're acting like total baby faces. Which hopefully only means they acted this way because, WWE is not in US right now and the crowd is hot, so you kinda have to play along. DIY offers to help Pretty Deadly to win the titles in exchange for a future rematch. Pretty Deadly turns them down. It's like they're slowly turning babyface, and it's great because this tag team finally feels relevant. Finally, people, we got the main promo. Roman Reigns enters and mentions being screwed by CM Punk at the Royal Rumble and returning the favor at the Garden. He also recalls Seth Rollins trying to kill him at the Rumble, and he tried to kill Rollins on Raw. Rollins interrupts and tells Roman he messed up, calling Punk a danger and saying Roman should have let him finish what he started. Rollins and Roman talk about their shared history and the tension between them, teasing a new chapter in the rivalry. CM Punk interrupts, a lot of cheers. Punk says, neither of you have beaten me in the past. You always needed each other's help, and I think he's talking about 2014, right before CM Punk left. Punk says you won at War Games because of me, and talks about the favor, but before he could say anything, he says, thank you, Paul, for bringing the tribal chief, and attacks Roman Reigns right here and then. So we got this big fight, and throughout this fight, everybody started pointing at the WrestleMania sign, which means, in my opinion at least, that this is not what the favor is all about, if everybody wants this match. It's gonna be like, Paul Heyman, will you let me face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania? No, you talk to Nick Aldis about this. It was a pretty cool segment, but in this case, in my opinion at least, the show was so, mid, that this segment needed to be generational for this show to be somewhat exciting. This was cool. Obviously, this is one of the most interesting rivalries WWE have going on, but if you watch the entire episode of SmackDown, you didn't necessarily feel like, okay, this show was worth it. Maybe it's because WWE don't really have legit competition anymore, and they got very comfortable by selling a lot of expensive tickets and knowing that no matter what, people are gonna be watching. Maybe it's that, but it just doesn't seem like they're trying too much, especially with SmackDown. Like, I still enjoy Monday Night Raw. SmackDown follows the same formula every single week. And like I've said, I'm thinking about the pros and cons of WWE weekly television being 3 hours long, and the cons are a lot bigger. There's a bigger list, people. Anyway, these are my thoughts, people. Thank you so much for watching this video. As always, your boy, The Great One. Peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.